Welcome again to another edition of Sip and Chat with Chantal and Friends. Yes, you're looking at us, and some of us will be wearing our bathing suits, some won't be, but we had plans. But as you know, things never go the way you planned. So this morning we had planned to go into the hot tub. Unfortunately, the hot tub decided not to cooperate today. Yes, we all got in a frenzy. Oh my God, what are we gonna do? But we decided life is just like that. We got to roll with it. So I would like to remind you to please share, like, and subscribe. And today also, we are sponsored by IA Creation by Lady Ann. She made Design Hourglass Sip and Chat. Cheers to Lady Ann.
Cheers. Thanks for inviting me, Chantal, and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
You're so welcome. Anyways, let's get back. So today we're going to talk about two topics. Today we're going to talk about depression, and we're going to touch on grief. I'm sure we've all dealt with that one way or the other. I know I have, and my guests are all been affected by it. So I'm going to start off. With depression. And I know a lot of us, every day, sometimes we get up and we'll say, oh my God, I'm so depressed. I've done it millions of times. But I think depression is deeper than that, than just waking up one morning and say, oh, today I'm so depressed. Things didn't go my way. It's deeper than that, and I think it's time for us to recognize that it's not just waking up one day or something in the middle of the day happened and we all just shout out we're depressed. Depression is a medical term, right? That people seriously are affected by it. I personally started suffering from a bit of anxiety, and I think it's because I'm an overthinker. I always want things to go right. I think we all do. And I don't know where I developed this and when I developed it. I think I would say it started just when my mom passed away. I think that's when that bit of anxiety started kicking in. Where overthinking, I can't sleep. I sometimes would be calling Lady Ann because she's a late person like I am, and just saying I can't sleep. And I would ask myself why. I don't think I'm depressed. But then there comes the anxiety of thinking about my kids. They're all grown, but I'm worrying about their lives, what's going on in their lives, and what's going to be going on in my life, because I'm up there. I'm getting close to retirement, and those are things that I think it plays a big thing in our lives, and I get nervous, like, will my kids put me in a nursing home? Will I be all by myself? So I think that's where a lot of the anxiety comes in, right? And so I could probably say that I suffer from it, but I have learned how to redirect it. So I do my yoga, I go for walks, I get up, I may call Lady Ann or call Angie, and just sometimes just say how I feel, or have a glass of wine,
Nothing's wrong with that.
Nothing is wrong with a little bit of glass of wine. But I will talk to myself and I will say, listen, you need to calm down. I can't control everything. I really have to learn that. My panic attack also is when I get on a plane. Because I can't tell the pilot what to do, how to fly the plane, avoid all turbulence. That panic is it's disgusting, I would say. But I have learned this summer to get on a plane on my own. And first I talk to God. And then I say, here I am. You know my problems. I don't have to list them. Just help me on this journey. And I felt that, not that I needed to put in religion, but I am religious spiritually, very spiritual. And I just felt that just talking to him brought a sense of peace. And I realized that it's like someone say to me, you cannot control everything about your life. My mom told me once, if because you're afraid of dying on a plane, that prevent you from getting on a plane, it's totally silly. Because if God had already written it, that that's the way you're gonna go, it's just that's the way you're gonna go. She said you could be here driving your car and thinking you're all in control. Somebody comes from nowhere and takes you out. And so I would think about that too when I was on the plane, like let go and let God. So I'm going to turn it over to Nadine. Nadine, what's your take on depression?
Well, my first encounter with depression, I believe also is when my dad passed away. I didn't know how to deal with death, and when I first realized this, when I was in a mall and I just couldn't move. My heart was beating so fast. I couldn't catch my breath, and basically I passed out and realizing that I was having a panic attack. And then I was home for a year. I never left the house. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't go anywhere without my husband. It was a lot. I went into counseling, and I wasn't able to drive without somebody in the car first. Then I'd have to be speaking to somebody in the car. So when I drive now, I'm speaking to somebody. Like I have to be on the phone.
So you're still doing that?
Yeah. So it still exists, right? Like I have to be on the phone talking to somebody, or somebody's in the car with me.
So you're still dealing with it. So in the sense, even with counseling, you still haven't found your comfort zone yet.
I have not. No. And he passed away 2005 now. So
that's a while.
It's been a while.
So is it just not? Well, you said because of your dad, but what do you think is keeping you in that same box? Like, because to me, it's like you're still in this box that somehow you sometimes peek out of it, but you still need somebody while you're peeking.
I do.
So what do you think is keeping you in that box after all these years?
Yeah, I don't think I know it's gone for a while, but then, all these disappointments with family and other deaths that I really have gotten over it, really. Right? Within the last 3-4 years, I've had traumatic deaths in my life, and everything is just like I'm more concentrating on the kids and them, not slipping into what I've been going through.
Right.
So
it's like you can't even 100% focus on you because you still have your children that you find that you need. It's like protection. You need to protect them.
For sure. Yeah.
So I guess your goal would be working
towards
stepping out of that box.
It is. It really is. And I've just learned that I can't control how others feel.
Exactly.
And I have to learn to just take care of me and do me. Yeah. So I'm trying, but still needing that counseling and guidance. Yeah. Still. But just a work.
Have you ever thought one day when you get in the car, I'm not going to call anybody, let me just drive? Has it ever crossed your mind? Just let me get in the car and drive.
No.
Have you ever considered to do it?
I haven't. Maybe on my way home I'll try.
Yeah. Because I think in the midst of counseling and saying that we want to move forward, unless we take those steps, those baby steps, you will still be in that box. And another 10 years, you will be still suffering from that. Even though you're having the counseling, you still need that for you. Like, okay, can I drive for an hour before I call that person?
Halfway through your journey.
Yeah.
And then you call someone.
And then you call that person. Like instead of just calling them immediately, Because what would happen if you never had that person to call? That would be it.
Call somebody else.
But it's not all. It doesn't matter. It's not always somebody's
going
there.
to be available.
So I think it's like learning to, when you leave here, jump in the car, turn on your music, and drive. When you reach to the point where you feel like the anxiety's coming, then maybe call that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just try to give yourself that that chance.
Yeah.
And if you fail, you fail, because there's
I mean,
always
you try
another
it, you
day.
Try another day.
But
That's
it's
so
the
true.
fact that, to me, you just need to try. I could be
You have
wrong.
to, no, you're perfectly right. You gotta step. Babies, if you don't take the first step as a baby, you'll never learn to walk.
Exactly.
So, and it's the same
And you're
thing.
gonna fall.
You're gonna
get
fall.
up,
You're gonna fall. You're gonna get up.
Just like life.
You know.
But we're here to encourage you. I'm here to say, maybe this is your opportunity today after this to get in your car and drive as far as you can, because we can't tell you how far to go. You know,
Not 5 minutes. Get on the highway. At least get on the highway
Yeah, and just
get
go.
2 exits
and just
before
give
you
it a
can.
try. Because
Yeah.
we're here trying to learn on our
Yeah.
own. We're
No,
here
for
to
sure.
encourage each other. None of us have the answer. I always say, I say this to my family at work, I'm not a doctor. I can only say what I feel, my opinion, but it's up to your comfort
Right.
and if you're willing to step out of it.
Out of it. That's true.
And
Right?
because your children, you worry about your children a lot, you can't counsel them about certain things until you pass that. Because
Exactly.
your kids might go through depression and anxiety. You
They
can't
do.
Okay, so and that's see, you can't counsel them. You can't tell them, oh, this is going to be okay when you're not okay.
So it's like a fake message.
Yeah. And then they'll
That's
call
what
you
it is,
hypocrite.
because
You know, this
they're not
generation.
seeing
They're
not seeing
Although
they-
there's sometimes she might be saying it to her kids, while she's saying it to her kids, she's saying it to herself.
Yeah, but if she's not stepping into
But she's
it,
not stepping into.
I'm trying that same tactic because, you know, my daughter suffers from anxiety with driving too. My son is suffering from depression. So, you know, from before it would be like work, I work from home. So just work from home, not go anywhere, not do anything. So I'm like, I'm stuck still in that same type of thing from the past. So now I'm like, okay, no, I'm going to try go to the gym, or I'm going to go out on Fridays, or, you know, do something. Like all this weekend, I haven't been home. Usually I'm home and I'm just in bed and I'm not moving.
right?
I'm not
So
doing
you're
anything.
stepping out.
So I am trying, and I
Yeah.
see that because my son even's like, where are you? Why are you not home? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm trying because I don't want him to also
see you.
Right. And it's all learned behavior.
Yeah.
Even
They
though
see you.
children, they learn from us. I
They
remember
learn
with
what
me,
they see, not
with-
what you tell them.
it's like me on flying. My kids experienced that with me on a plane. And it was horrible. And I still feel bad as a mom. We got on a plane to Florida, and they were young. And it was just me and them. And we're on the plane, and we hit some turbulence.
Oh, Lord.
And I lost it. I think maybe I'd forgotten I was with the kids. The fear that came over me, I couldn't see anything else but the fear. It's when somebody tapped me and said, do you need some help with your babies? I kind of like, oh my God, I'm here with the babies. And I felt like the worst mom in the world, because that lady came, she took my kids, she sat with them, and she comforted them. But then I felt like there was nobody there to comfort me. I felt so alone. But I kept thinking, if something happened, they would have had someone. Because the fear I had, I couldn't even grab them. Because my fear was like, we're going to die now, right? And up till today, one of my daughters, she's not into flying.
Wow.
She's not into like, oh, you know, I'll think about it, Mom, or, you know, and I realized that was for me.
Traumatized.
And I do feel a bit of guilt. My other daughter, she's starting to jump into flying, you know, with her fiance. They fly and they go places. And she said, you know, Mom, sometimes it's a little, but I'm okay. But I wish my other daughter will jump right in. But it's what they saw. even rides. I wouldn't take them anywhere with rides because I'm afraid of rides. So my ex-husband would say, okay, this is what you're going to do when they were older. You're going to take them to Wonderland and you're going to leave them. You're going to walk out. Because then I'm there going, don't go in. I don't think you're going to come down. And I carry on.
Yeah.
And you know, when I'm not there, they go on every single rides. When they're with their dad, they go on all the rides. With me, it's zero. Because I'm already counseling. And I didn't realize that all I was doing was teaching them fear. What fear was all about. I wasn't teaching them really to be brave and face it. I was actually putting them in the bubble and saying certain chances you don't take because you're not in control. And I thank God for my ex, because if he didn't say to me, just walk away, you got to let them go. Like, you're holding them on with your fear. And I thank God I did, because they love Wonderland. They do all the crazy stuff I could never do and will never do. But as you were just talking about your children, I realized that we do it too. We all do these little things we don't realize we're doing. And so, you know, I'm guilty of it. 100%.
Let's talk about.
You go with your depression. Time for you, Angie.
I know, but it's deeper than that. Let's talk about fear and where it's coming from. We're all descendants of the Caribbean. Was there a phrase that was said to us when we were younger?
No. Well,
Was
I
there
think
something,
a lot of Caribbean
was there
says certain
something
things
that was told to us?
I never had that problem.
Maybe we were going out somewhere when we were younger and we were told, oh, don't go because this is going to happen and that's going to happen.
I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that.
I've heard it.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Or your mom would say, you know what, don't go because I think such and such, or this may happen to you, or you know what I mean. And by then you start wondering, oh my God.
And we never get a chance to take risk.
I'm a risk taker. I've always been a risk taker. From I can remember, I've always been. I'm the youngest of 6, so I've always taken risk. I've always done everything. So for me, even though I was born in the Caribbean, I never lived a Caribbean lifestyle.
Yeah.
Because I grew up here.
Yeah.
And I have the Jamaican blood, but I also have the Canadian experiences. So I never had the thing where my mom would say, "Oh, don't go here because that's gonna happen." I feel it in my spirit.
Yeah.
You know, I feel it in my spirit. No, I never had that. I never went through that. No. I didn't have that.
I think the way we were brought up has a lot to do with
the fears.
how we
But you do hear terms, and if you don't
ourselves.
hear it from you, you see it from your friends.
Yes,
You see it from your friends.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I've been here, 49 years now. And I mean, I could count the times. A few times my mom would say, well, no, I don't think you should go. But she also taught us that we follow our spirits. And that's what saved myself and my sister from a lot of stuff. Because she would say, if you are home comfortable and somebody called you and you don't feel like you want to go, and they're bringing you out,
you just don't.
You don't go.
That's different.
But
That's a different
no, but
situation.
it's still sense of fear. That is still fear, because they're saying to you, like, it's like she's saying, listen to yourself. But there's still a fear that, oh my God, so if I don't listen, something bad's gonna happen to me. Do you know what I mean? And you hear the stories of their friends when they went and
Because they didn't want to
something
go.
happened.
and something happened. So I'm gonna be honest, it's spiritual, but it's also fear that made me sometimes said, well, if I didn't follow my inner spirit, maybe something terribly. And it doesn't mean it wouldn't or it would. I don't know, right? But I'm just saying that I heard that a few times, and I can say that saved me a lot of time. Because sometimes I was called out and I said, no, I don't think so. And then days after, the day after, I'm hearing something terribly happen. Do you know what I mean? But like anything else, I think being in Canada for so long, you do come a lot Canadianized. You know what I mean? And Canadianized in the sense that you kind of have this free spirit too. You're out. You know when the lights go off, it's time to come home. You know what I mean? you sort of know what's there. You get to go out and play and try new things. And growing up, I didn't have to worry about, oh, somebody bad's gonna come and do this or take me away. And do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't have that, and I don't know in Jamaica if that happened in Jamaica, but when I was here, it was like you go outside, you stay out, you come, you get to go by your friend's house. When I was growing up in Jamaica, my grandmother would not allow me to play with, not even my cousins. I was not even allowed to cross the line. Because she was like, I'm taking care of you, your mom leave me
In church.
right? And if you go over there, I don't know what's gonna happen. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I never had the opportunity to grow up with my cousin because my grandmother was like, "There's always something bad's gonna
Something's
happen."
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do guess I've experienced a little of that,
bit of
and then I come here and it was a lot more freedom.
Yeah.
Growing my kids now here, there was a lot of fear because I'm sorry, the world changed.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say
world
that.
changed.
Definitely, this generation
Changed.
and the one before this generation, it's a totally different
Different.
situation than when we were kids. Because, like you said, we go home when the street light comes on.
Right.
This generation don't know what that means.
Exactly.
They don't know.
First of all, it's too early.
They don't know how. In our generation, it's like, where's everybody? You walk around, you ride around the neighborhood until you find a pile of bikes.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
where they are. This generation's like, where you are?
Yeah, they're texting. They're
Yeah.
more
They're
Phone and
online.
everything.
I've been out to dinner in Montreal, and that's around where the high college is. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching them, and a table full of college students. Nobody's talking. Nobody's head is up. Everybody's like this.
Phone.
And I know that they're talking to each other. That some of them is talking to each other
on the
on
phone.
the table.
Yeah.
Instead of putting the phone away and having a conversation.
And I think
Because that's
where-
also another point of fear. How do
Exactly.
I speak to
Exactly.
you? I don't know how to get my words across. to
Exactly.
you. That's
Exactly.
another.
And because
Yeah,
of what's
yeah.
going on with our kids, people
Yeah.
are taking them away. They're being killed.
Yes.
That there was no
Human
way.
trafficking is very high.
Right.
now.
There was no way I was having my girls like doing what they want. I'm gonna be honest. They weren't allowed to do sleepovers.
Neither was my daughter.
They were not allowed to do sleepovers. If the other person parents want them to come to my
It's
house,
fine.
that's fine.
Yeah.
But the questions I have are long like this. It's like, oh no, we can't be bothered
We
because
don't do that.
you know what I mean.
That's how I was.
And I
my
need to
mom
go up
and-
in the house. I need to see what's going
going
And
on.
that is not
and
fear though.
whatever.
That is the proper way. That is not fear.
It's a part of fear,
It's
but
part
it
of how
is
you're
the
brought
proper
up.
way.
No, it's
Yeah.
not fear. I would
Fear-
not
listen to
say
I would say because when Michaela was in high school, they always have these camping trips, and most of them are sleepovers.
Yes.
If you guys remember, I don't know if you remember, I was in Toronto when a school down there went out with the kids. I think they had 1 or 2 nights over. And one of the boys was from a Jamaican family.
Oh, and he
drowned.
drowned in
Right.
He was our classmate. He drowned. And he wasn't here that long from Jamaica.
But that's
But
that's
he
not
drowned.
fear. Knowing what your child is doing, knowing the environment that they're going into, and want them to be safe is not fear.
Well, I was fearful for her going on the trip.
I think it's part of fear.
It is a part of fear.
Because, and the
I
reason why I
wonder
can
because
say
you
it's a part of fear, because I have a lot of Canadian friends, and the cultures are different. And I'm going to say there were certain cultures, they didn't ask questions about who is living in the house. They didn't care who was in the house.
what
You
they-
were just allowed to go over
Yeah.
and sleep.
Okay,
So no parents is calling to
And
find out nothing.
who and what, yeah.
Mary Jane and whoever
Okay, so
can
because-
just come.
so because you're a proper parent and want to know about your child, you consider that fear?
Yes, it's a part of fear that holds us back too. It's because it's the fear that what could
What's
happen.
gonna happen?
What could happen? But then you have some parents, they don't worry about that. Maybe they don't have the fear of that until when it happens.
Where are these other people? Are they into drugs? Are they
Are they-
into,
right.
And those
what are they
questions
into?
are reasonable. Those questions are the right questions. It's
Well,
not,
sometimes you ask it, you're not getting the honest answer.
and that's
I don't
okay
think there's
too.
going to be a parent's going to say to you, yeah, my
Okay.
husband is on drugs or he's alcoholic.
Okay, but that
Send your daughter over.
But knowing that your child is safe is
Or
I
my
don't- I
husband
don't think
safe
it's-
walk.
I don't think it's
Send
a
him
part of
over.
it.
It is fear for me.
Or is it
And-
10 o'clock? Let me go and check the list on the computer.
Right. And it's because it's a bit of fear.
Yes, yes.
It's a bit of good parenting,
Yeah.
but it's a bit of fear. That's
That's just how you feel.
that's how
It's 50-50.
it's 50-50.
I don't agree.
That's how I see it, right?
And that's okay. We will disagree to agree.
Right. And that's what life is all about.
Exactly.
And you still stay friends,
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Oh, yes. We're still not friends.
We're still.
We're still friends. So Angie, we're talking about depression, and I know at times you may go through that. How do
Well,
you
I
feel?
have actually very similar attributes to our friend here, what she's talking about a couple of years back. And I think that's what really triggered everything down the line. It was during the pandemic when it was a fearful time. We've never experienced
Something
the
new.
pandemic. We weren't allowed to go here, we weren't allowed to go there. We heard stories about on WhatsApp, we seeing all these videos through social media.
Mhm.
We didn't know how long we're going to be locked down for.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I was online with work, with school, teaching online. I work with the kids with different disabilities. So we had them online, and that wasn't easy. So there was a lot going on. I remember the part where you talk about getting in your car, and you wouldn't be able to get in your car and go to the store. I was fearful of everything around me. I would try to get on the road when there's less car on the road, just to avoid the people, noise, sounds. Yeah. And with depression, it's when you overthink too much and you think about the future, and you try to make plans and plan in advance. And if I knew what I know now, what I knew then, now, I probably would have applied it to my life. And there's a scripture in the Bible that talks about, and it says, I think it's in Matthew, it says, if the Lord can worry about the birds and the animals, why not take care of his own people, his humans that he's made? If the birds can fly and provide food and find, why would he not? So why should we worry? He's always there preparing stuff for us.
And do you
Even
find with
when
that
we don't
verse,
think it-
does that help you?
Yes, it does. And there are more verses in the Bible like that, where the Lord tells us, don't worry about tomorrow, because he's always planning for us.
And I think all of us worry about tomorrow because especially now we're getting older. You know, plans we feel that we have to make, and you know, sometimes I wonder, all that worrying, does it add up? Because sometimes we see, I have friends that have made so much plans and they're not here today. Do you know what I mean? And we put so much energy into it, and it takes away a little bit of our lives because we're so planning that sometimes we forget to live in the moment because we're so worried about tomorrow and next year that we can't focus on the present because our mind is, what's going to happen next year? Oh, you know, I'm going to be 50 or I'm going to be 60. I should have had this and I should have did this. When we should really be saying, holy mackerel, we're still here.
Right now.
We're breathing. We're alive. There's friends that would love to be with us right now. And they're not here. And that's going to bring me to a point where, sorry, let me get back to you. What about you with depression?
I've conquered depression. I went through 10 years, literally 10 years of depression. There are times now I do slide under the radar, but then I learned to appreciate the very littlest things that I have, which for me, I'm on this side of the green. I'm not in a hospital bed.
Amen.
I can move. I still able to do for myself when I can. So I've learned to conquer it. But once you go through depression, you never really don't have it. It's always lingering there a little bit, and there's times you do slide back in, and you gotta,
Pull
what you're
yourself
doing.
up.
Right.
Get up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
check
You know,
yourself.
Yeah.
I believe sit down, scream, cry, do what you have to do, and then move on.
Yeah.
That's true.
I don't, we fall down, but we have
To get up.
Get up.
Exactly.
We cannot stay in it.
Exactly.
I don't believe in a pity party. I will be there with you to help you, but I ain't staying down there with you, boo. You want to stay down there? I'm out of here.
Exactly.
If
Exactly.
you want me to help you to get up,
Yeah.
You're there.
I will be there to hold
Yeah.
your hand. I would even cry with you.
Yeah.
I saw this YouTube video with this girl. When I was looking at this video, I thought it was a dummy laying on the ground in the rain. And then I saw a van pull up. I never read the caption on it. And then I saw this woman come out of the car, and the dummy lift up his head. I go, oh, that's a real person.
Yeah.
And the person laid down beside the person in the car. So when I read, I'm like, what? So then I let it play again, and I read the script, the caption, and it said she was having a panic attack. She called her mom, and when her mom came over, she saw her lying in the driveway in the rain. Instead of she got upset, she just laid beside her, held her hand until the anxiety passed. And that's okay. But if you ain't going to want to get up, if you're going to sit there for 3 days in that rain, don't call me, please.
Yeah.
But if you want the help, if you need the help, and that's why when I go through my depression and I'm at a point where I can't deal with it by myself, but there is times when I'm like, why? I've done everything I'm supposed to do, and I'm still where I'm not supposed to be, where I don't want to be,
Exactly.
where I'm like, and like you said, we plan for the future. All of us at this age, we're like, retirement, what is it looking like?
Exactly.
We don't know what it's looking like. You could work all your life with the way this government's going by the time you get pension. So I go, there's no pension for you.
Exactly. And then you can also work all your life for retirement, and then you don't make it because
you
your
don't
whole life is working hard
working
and stressing and not spending any time with yourself, not
with your-
taking time away from your children, where you can sit and breathe, or not just. And the time you look at it, we're at your funeral,
Yeah.
and that's all we can say. She worked hard. She was looking forward to retirement.
She went
In
to
the
school.
midst of it, you gotta live.
You
You
gotta
gotta
live.
live
I gotta
in
live.
between all those planning. People say to me, why do you always go out? That's my therapy. If you want to pay for my therapy to go sit and lay down in a chair, you're more than welcome. But my therapy is to be around my friends, is to go out. Music is a big thing for me. As you all know, I'm no big dancer. I don't claim to be, but I will be on the floor doing me. And I don't care what you, your mother, or anybody gonna say, because that's my therapy. That's how I get through things, you know, and it helps me. You know what I mean? That's just how I do. But people will look at you and judge you and say, "Oh my God, that girl's out every weekend."
But it's not only just that, though. For me, also, is taking pictures.
Yes.
taking pictures.
Oh yeah. Well, that's me too. You know.
That's my therapy.
Yes.
Taking pictures, listening to music, and going out with my friends. So when I hear people like, you post this and you put, I'm like, if you don't like it,
Don't look.
Don't look.
That's it.
Don't
Keep
look.
scrolling.
And that's what
Just
we
keep
say.
scrolling.
You never know what somebody's going through and what they're
Exactly.
doing to help their self.
Exactly.
I love pictures, and thank God I love pictures because losing my uncle, my best friend, I realized I didn't have a lot of pictures of him. You understand?
Wow, yeah.
I didn't have a lot of pictures. We have moments,
Yeah.
and things are still here,
Yeah.
but I didn't have a lot of pictures. Losing Carol, I had 5,000 pictures. 5,000 pictures. Losing my mom, I didn't have a lot of pictures. You see? So the more things happen,
Yeah.
it's sort of you learn.
True.
And it's not about showing off. It's about capturing a
But
moment.
it's just like with me, I go, as you all know, I'm crazy. I go all out for my birthday. I celebrate all month, and people's like, you're so show off. You're so extra. You're this. You're
But
that.
that's what
But
I'm
you know
saying.
what? You don't know. You don't know why I
What-
celebrate
and
my
what
birthday.
you're going through.
Why I celebrate my birthday like that.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There's a reason for it. Just because I don't share it with you, if you ask, fine.
Yeah,
but if you're gonna
exactly.
come and judge,
Yeah.
keep
Exactly.
judging, boo.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, that, you know, memories, you know, I'm able to go back to my uncle, a few pictures we shared his birthday. I'm able to go back to that.
And every week we hear about Carol
And every week.
and see a picture about Carol.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, this was Carol's favorite song. This was me and Carol.
and it's funny. And it's funny
but
because
it's good.
I have friends for 40 plus years. And I think that's another topic because I've had friends for 40 plus years. I don't have 5,000 pictures of them. But I believe God brings people in a person's life
Together for a reason.
at the right time and exactly when they need it. And I felt and I believe that I was brought in Carol's life exactly when she needed it.
pull her out of a depression.
To pull her out from that depression. Yes, she had depression. She felt like at times like no one cared. She felt like people judged, and they did, because when we went out, we heard the whispers. She heard quicker than me, you know, but she would say, I could hear somebody talking about me. And I would say, well, girl, they must be talking of fine you look, you know? And it bothered her. But then I realized, why should I stop going out with her because she became blind? Does that change who she is?
No.
I think she even saw me better being blind, personally, right? And so I got a lot of whispers, oh, you know, this and that and that. We didn't care about the whispers. We just cared about the moments, right?
I'm not allowed.
And then we met Angie. Angie came along. And, you know, Angie was another friend that Carol needed. Somebody who didn't see her for her blindness. You know, didn't see her for what she was going through. Angie thought Carol was just a hoot. You know, we would go out and just do stupid things and try to think we were so normal. Like trying to get Carol in the hot tub. Girl.
You didn't get her in.
Angie,
We
we got her in.
in. Yeah.
But this is what I tell you.
We got her
You
in.
see, when you're there to fulfill other people's needs and their wants and their dreams, Carol always wanted to sit in the hot tub because she saw us, she heard us. I mean, having fun. She would sat at the side, and one day she said, "The next time I better know somebody going in the hot tub too." What? Kill me dead. I fly high, fly low. You all have to figure it out. I said, Lord Jesus, Angie, how we gonna do this? And Angie and I did it. But I guess we didn't realize what we really have done.
We're doing, yeah.
Because we gave her a sense of belonging. We all
Took her
were
out of
in
that
the hot
depression.
tub. And I think even with me, I kept thinking, oh, Carol's okay. We're in the hot tub and she's at the side and we're laughing and
She
we're
was
joking. But when she said that, it hit me. No, she wasn't okay. You know what I mean? I think when she fully came in is when we were in the hot tub, right? And so having all those pictures and those memories, I do look through them daily.
I'm sure you do.
And just a day before she died, I actually asked her, she was actually cussing me out, friendly cussing. And I hate to say, but her favorite word is the F word. That's just me and her. It is what it is. I mean, if you know me, you know the F bomb is always coming off. And she was saying something to me, and she said to me, F off. And I said, I realized, shit, I don't have the phone. I said, and it hit me that my friend is dying now. You know what I mean? I finally came to terms that my friend was dying. And I was like, nobody's going to be telling me that anymore. And they won't be able to say it like she did. Right? So I grabbed my phone and I said, Carol, I need you to say that again. And she said, I ain't saying nothing. And I said, well, who's going to say it to me when you're gone? You need to say it now. And she goes back and she lays down and she just clearly said it. And for me, that was like she gave me gold. You know what I mean? Because it's just something me and her had. You know what I'm saying? And so I am glad I have my 5,000 picture and my how much 100 videos. I don't care what anyone see me flipping out my phone. I don't care what you all have to say. And if you say good things, great. If you're negative, great. But maybe you should catch on. Because those memories, you're going to need one day. For your mother, your friends, your uncle, you need those memories. Because it's part of life. Nobody's pulling out albums anymore. We have to move with the time. We maybe sometime goes to the album for our parents and stuff. But this generation, we pull for a phone. And that's where our memories lie. In our hearts, in our mind, but on the phone. Nobody knows when I have my cry time. I may just not want to talk to you when you call. But I feel like I hit gold. Because nobody else have 5,000 pictures and videos of her. And I may talk about her a lot. It's because I walk her journey with her. And it wasn't just me helping her. She actually helped me. Because she made me realize, oh, quick, your life can change like this.
And how much we need to appreciate life.
Yeah. You could go to the doctor tomorrow and you get a news that's just going to knock you off your feet. You could be making $100,000. You could have the nice car and the furniture and the house and everything. Let the doctor tell you have cancer. And you have a month or you have 4 months. Those materialistic things ain't going to serve you nothing. It's those words. You have cancer. Or I'm sorry, you're blind. There's not much I could do about it. You signed the paper. Right? No one goes to the doctor to become blind. Her hope was to go and help her eyesight. And to see that it cost her her eyesight. Those were things that she felt going to the doctor and talking to him. And that's what he said to her. You signed the paper. How does somebody come out every day smiling? How can you not admire her? She came out every day smiling. I'm sure you've seen her. And nobody maybe knew the days when she's crying and can't get out of bed. And I would say to her, no, you don't. You don't. And if God was ready for you to see again, he would have granted you that vision. Maybe the way the world is running, he didn't want you to see it. Because let's face it, it ain't running nice. It ain't running pretty.
It sure ain't running nice now.
Right? We are only making the best of it by faith. That's how we look at it. It's true faith we look through at the world.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have faith and you seriously look at the world, would we be able to really handle it? Depression would have killed us. Stress. So it's true faith Carol was able to live. And at the end, she knew she was going to face her master. And she knew she would be okay. Was she scared? You're damn right she was.
Sure.
I know I'm more likely will be. Because at the end of the day, you're leaving family. I know everybody, well, you believe in God and blah, 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 and all of that. But we're human. Yeah. He made us human to have feelings.
That's for sure.
You understand? And he understands when we have a little doubts. Because I say to him, what are you doing, buddy? You seem to be taking everybody I love. Could you stop for a minute?
Just tell him how much you love Donald Trump.
Got that one. But that's what I said. Can you stop for a minute and just let me catch my breath? Because I haven't mourned my uncle yet. And now I'm mourning Carol. I mourned my mom for 5 years. And people may see me, but I had my time where I cried. Nobody knew. I had my time when I'm driving and talking to her. You know? But my mom shows up almost every day for us. My sister and I, every day we see a sign. So we know she's still there, you know? But I miss my mom because I was hoping my mom would live to be in her 80s and 90s because I felt like I didn't have enough time with my mom growing up in Jamaica and then coming here. I felt like there was a gap that I missed.
Yeah.
And within that gap, you're trying to catch up. You know what I mean? So for having her sick and die at 70, that's young. So that hit me. So we all have our things we're going through. You know, and I'm so glad that I have you guys because I've always been myself. You guys get it. Most people don't. They may see me as a bit cocky or a bit whatever. But I promise you, I'm not going to change for nobody. It's either you accept me for who I am or you keep it moving. And we have to start accepting people for who they are. Try to find something in them we can love. Something in them we can like. You know, because none of us here are perfect.
No.
And that's where we hope that through these chats, you know, it's raw. It's not edited. We're not all dressed up fancy and trying to impress anybody. You know, we're just trying to see if somebody out there we could touch. Somebody can relate to us, you know. And write, ask questions, you know. Maybe one day you'd like to join the Sip and Chat group. We'll more than welcome you. But there's so much more we could touch on about depression and grief and how we move forward, you know. And as I said, with grief, there's no time. There's no time. You know, just going out last night, I honestly was overwhelmed by being in that house without Carol. She introduced me to these people. She brought me to that house. So when I was in the house, I felt like I was cheating on Carol. Like I was here and she's not. Like, why are you in this house without the person that brought you here? So I had a lot of emotions, some teary-eyed. And, you know, I could hear her saying, girl, what's wrong with you? You know, set your face good. And those were the things that got me through to stay longer. Because I could literally hear her saying to me, because she would say to me, don't be making that ugly cry. I want to hear it because I know it's ugly. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And so those things, my mom saying to us, you know, push forward. Her faith that she had dying. My mom died with grace. I've never seen no one hold on so strong to God while dying. Never one day say to God, what's this you're doing to me? I said it to her. I said, Mom, how come you feed the poor? You're there for them. You do everything God wants you to do, and he gives you this disease. I never forget what she said to me. She said, God loves me so much that he wouldn't give me this disease. But he loves me enough to bring me through. But I saw it as God was punishing her. Even though my mom, to us, was an angel, my mom would feed anybody. She never cooked liquor food. There's always enough if somebody walked through. You know what I mean? And I was very angry with God. Very angry.
In our sad times, we have to give thanks.
Yeah.
In our happy times, we have to give thanks.
Right. But as human, and that's my mother, I was angry with God. I was angry when he took my uncle, and I was even more angry again when he took Carol. Because I felt like he keeps taking everyone that accept me for who I am. I feel like he's leaving the people that maybe have such judgments, that don't have love. Do you know what I'm trying? I don't know. It may sound weird, but that's just how I felt. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? And as I said, I just thank God that I have the opportunity to, have you in my life. It may not be 8 years or 40 years, but the years are adding up, and I enjoy your company.
Oh, so do I.
Anne and I think we may have the same dislike for people because we are a lot alike. Like, we do speak our mind, but we do have love, but we do speak our mind. We don't know how to
go along to get along.
And we don't know how to powder it up.
No, we can't put no sugar coat on it.
Yeah, we
You're
can't.
gonna get the bitters. You're gonna get the bitters.
Yes.
And then we hug you later.
Yes. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to be fake.
No, I can't be fake.
And
I can't
and
be
to me,
fake.
if you're my friend, you should be able to tell me the truth.
Exactly.
You should be. I have friends would say, "Hey, does this look good?" And I say,
No.
What do you mean it don't look good?
So what you ask me for?
Don't ask. Because I know when we go out,
you're gonna
somebody's
tell
going to
them
be
the
saying, what that should I wear? I don't want them to say that.
No,
Because
exactly.
you're my friend. Tell me the truth. If you
I
don't
have
look
gone
good,
to pick up people
Don't
and
say
they
it.
don't look good. I go, where you go? Who you go? No. Go change, boo boo. Go
Because
change.
you want your friends to represent themselves at their best. You want them to look good. I do it with Angie. Just other day,
Today, just today.
I did. I wasn't.
Yeah, when we went out.
On that note, I'm having a trip. I didn't mean it.
Yes, you do, you like.
But
It would
Angie,
not be you.
okay. But when I said whatever I said, 'cause I don't
You
remember.
don't remember.
She means in good spirits. She means well by me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad
Doesn't
because
matter how she say it, what she says, she always means well.
it's come from love.
Yeah.
It comes from love. Because I want her to be at her best. I don't want, because of anything she's going through,
Right.
you walk out with it. Sometimes you gotta leave it behind and you gotta step out.
Yeah. That's true.
You don't always have to bring it. You just have to walk through that door.
Correct.
Dress up. Even when you get depressed, dress up. Feel good. Why you have your clothes in there doing what? What are they there for?
To put on and look good.
Dress up. Look good. Take a selfie.
Yeah.
It's the thing now.
Yes, it is.
Throw some leaves and take a selfie.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because we can't stay, whatever we're feeling, we cannot stay in it. It will kill us.
That dark place will definitely.
Exactly.
And sometimes you can be in a very dark place. And people with going through depression needs people around them. You
People like
cannot-
me.
Right. You cannot go through it by yourself. Although they have a lot of supports in Canada, Mental Health Line, Bell, Net, whatever that comes out. But even if you have to call somebody on the phone, and if that's your only outlet, your only resource, then that's what you need to do.
It's an outlet.
Yeah,
It's an
you
outlet.
need to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And I do have a mental health background, so we would talk about them hearing voices. And sometimes it's just the thoughts that bother your mind, and
Yeah.
sometimes you can hear 3, 4, 5 different voices at the same time talking in your head,
Yeah.
and they can be very destructive, especially those ones that will talk to you about harming yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you can be spiritual, religious,
But still go through
and
it.
You still go through it.
sometimes.
Because
But what I'm gonna say is, there's a battle,
Yes.
it is.
because
Yeah,
you're gonna hear
it's,
the good voice and you're gonna hear
And
that
then
negative voice.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
me being born again, I keep even my sister-in-law, and because we talk to each other because we pretty much go through the same thing, and our thing is, if the Bible didn't say it was a sin to commit suicide, I wouldn't be here.
I heard you said that recently.
If it wasn't
Yeah.
for the Bible saying it's a sin to commit suicide, and if I commit suicide, I would never see God's face. I would.
And look at that. See? See?
So
This
it
is what
is-
this conversation do. It gets deep, and we can be honest.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about the judgment. We want to meet. There's a lot of people out here suffering,
Yeah.
and especially in our culture, because we're taught to keep everything
To ourselves.
Locked up.
locked up.
Locked up.
You know, those
Don't
things
say
are
anything.
not. Don't,
Oh,
what
it's
kind of
no.
nonsense is that? You're not mad.
Yeah.
You're mad. You know you're not mad. You're okay.
That's
And
the
because of that,
terminology, the Caribbean terminology,
yeah,
guys.
and
Be
because
mad.
of that, people don't get help,
Yeah.
especially our kind of people.
And again, shame.
Yes, but
They
that's
make
it.
they
And
make
then-
you
same
feel
thing.
ashamed. They make you feel ashamed
Yeah.
because, and then especially in a lot of the churches, they're like, "Oh, you can't be going through depression," and you say you're saved.
Exactly. That's where a lot of people are still
What
getting
kind of
lost.
stupidness is that?
Yeah.
There's no way you can have the devil and God, and you can't be saved if you're going through depression. You can't be saved. You're having these thoughts. You can't be saved.
Exactly. I'm
Right?
so glad you touched on that.
And it's really disgusting because a lot of the pastors would be, you need, go pray about it.
And
Yeah,
that's- yeah.
go pray about it.
Yeah.
I'm going through a mental stage. I can't even talk to myself. You want me to go pray?
Exactly. I get it.
And
That's
this, and
so
this is
deep.
why some, especially I will call my sister-in-law because she goes through a similar situation as me, and trust me, when you're going through it, it's bad. It's bad, and you just want to die. You don't want to deal with it. I remember when my sister died from cancer. When nobody was looking at the view, and I slapped her. I slapped my sister in the coffin, and I said, "How dare you leave me to go through all of this pain, and you were gone."
Wow.
I was so mad. I think I was more mad at her than I grieved her
Right.
because I was jealous.
Oh.
I was jealous
Because it wasn't you.
that she's not feeling any more pain. She doesn't have to worry
Wow.
about the bill tomorrow. She doesn't have to go to the doctor. She doesn't have to wake up. And I'm still here suffering.
Oh wow.
I was
Now that's deep.
I was so jealous of my sister. I said, I told you I would go first.
Right. Right.
Right? And
And I think with death, that's one thing too. We do get angry. We do
Yeah.
feel like, why did you leave me?
Why?
But then also when you see the pain the person been through.
Yeah.
I think that's what humbles me.
yeah.
That's what I could say. You know what? My mom's in a better place because I don't think love should hurt, and I don't think love is painful.
No,
You know what
no.
I mean? And I can't love my mom and love Carol or anybody else and see them going through that. I
No,
think
you
I was
can't. It's
I was
selfish.
really
It's
selfish.
It's
I was really
false
selfish because I really wanted them both to stay longer. Do you understand?
you
Like my
didn't care
uncle was
if
a
they-
heart attack,
Oh,
but my mom and Carol
and
was
they were
cancer.
and they just keep lingering
But
on the
I
pain.
and Carol, for me, with my mom had cancer after Carol, and Carol living eight years with cancer, I got comfortable. I don't know if you guys know what I mean.
I understand.
I got
Because
comfortable
she
that
did it a few times.
she's gonna beat it. She'll always beat it. As soon
She'll
as
always be here.
She said, "You know, I have another one." Girl, I'm
Yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
through
let's
this.
go.
Let's go
do
for a
this,
drink.
yeah.
Let's do this.
Yeah.
It's when the last time I saw changes, we talked less.
And
Or
she
she
was
will
not
say,
moving
you know,
as much.
Well, I love you, but I can't talk to you long. I couldn't get it. I wasn't able to. I just couldn't understand that.
Because you're like, she's gonna beat it.
Like, why are you not beating this thing? And I kept saying to her, why are you giving into this?
Giving up.
Why are you giving up? But she wasn't giving up.
No.
It was just, there was no more fight left.
Yeah.
It was, she's
She
done
fought
it
her
for
good fight
8
and she
years.
was done.
And I don't think, I personally haven't met anybody who fought it for so long, right? I've known people for a year, 4 years, 5 years, but never 8.
And so
So
much
it
different
just-
cancers too.
It just got me thinking, like, I was really selfish to put that on her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was really selfish to think that you'll always be okay and you'll always be here. You know what I mean? And as I said, you have friends, but there's some friends you tell everything
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not saying that you guys would judge me,
She doesn't
but
know
this,
us.
no, it's not that I think you guys will judge me. And it's just that she brought me to a place where I was able to just let go.
Let go.
Mm-hmm.
I am not one to just let go.
Right.
I am not one to fully open up to people. I'm just not that person.
Yeah.
It's a childhood thing. It's a protection.
It's
And
a West Indies black
when-
woman thing.
Maybe that too, but
It is.
just meeting someone that wasn't judgmental at all. Just was okay with whatever I said
you said.
and helped me through it.
Right.
You know, I'm single. Everybody knows I'm single. So I called her a couple times and said, hey, I met this guy. And the first thing she would say is, so what's wrong with him teeth?
Because she's always finding fault with him. Too
So,
short.
just say-
Him too this.
She said, okay, don't talk to him. Don't talk about him. Let's talk about in another couple weeks. And maybe not even a couple weeks. 1 week.
Oh,
I'll
God.
call her back and say, well,
Mm.
she said,
Okay,
okay,
but
let's move to the next. But you know, certain people,
Somebody's at the door.
Pers-
They're moving back and forth.
certain people would judge you for that
Mm.
and look at you as, oh, you know, maybe you're loose
Oh.
or something. But it was just dates, nothing else. But
Nothing else.
she understood that. You know,
Mm.
not everybody would understand it. Maybe you guys would look at me like, what's wrong with her? She can't settle down.
Oh gosh.
But she understood what I wanted,
Mm.
what I need.
Mm-hmm.
You
And you
understand?
shouldn't settle. You shouldn't
Exactly.
settle.
This year with the secular, we not getting no.
You should not settle at all.
I'm not settling.
No, you got it.
Because I love me so much.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And I know the love that I
That you
deserve.
Exactly.
And if I should die single,
Then
that's
that's
how
okay.
it was ordained.
Yeah, it's okay.
If I'm supposed to meet someone again,
Mhm.
fine. But for now, I'm going to live.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, we want to say thank you again for joining us. Please like and share and subscribe. And for me, I want to say life is short. Live it.
Yes, I agree.
Nadine, what do you think?
I agree 1000%. Life is too short to be angry, judgmental. Just live life to its fullest, and that's my motto right about now.
Lady Ann?
If you need help, reach out. Reach out to someone you can trust. Call somebody. There's a lot of outlets out there. I personally like to go the personal way, where it's more personal. Someone that knows you, but do whatever that suits you. Reach out to somebody. Don't go through this alone, because you will lose the battle, and nobody wants you to lose the battle that way.
Exactly.
Just to
Angie?
piggyback, yes, reach out, guys. There are numerous organizations to help. There are some people who don't like to talk to strangers, and that's okay. Find somebody on the phone you can talk to if you're alone and there's no other hope. If you cry, sometimes you'll feel better. If you're a spiritual person, keep scripture in your heart. Keep a song that's comforting. My outlet usually be going for walks by the lake when the weather is nice. But there's music we talk about that we can do.
Yeah.
What else we talk about? Talking to friends and families again. So there's read a book that you enjoy. Find something online, even on your phone, that will uplift your spirits and give you good insights for the day. Maybe a podcast, but
Watch, sip, and chat.
but there are numerous outlets that can be accessible.
Life,
If you have
for
a
sure.
church family, yes, somebody that you favor in the church, you can call and check in with them. They check in with you ever so often. That will help to motivate as well.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
One love. Great job, ladies. Get that salad.